Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's
Good.
up?
Where's
How are you
Dutton?
guys?
There's Dutton.
Yeah.
It's time
There he
to
is.
take a break. Take a break, guys. So let's put us up here right there. So welcome to what is this? Issue 5 of Take a Break with Luke and Dutton.
I think so.
Yeah, we're into five episodes now, so that's pretty fun. And we got Todd back. Todd, it's good to have you tonight.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
How was your week?
Okay. Still dealing with stuff, but okay.
Okay, well, at least you're breathing.
Exactly.
Tonight we've got Matt. Matt, tell us just a little bit about yourself. Kind of introduce the people that would be watching yourself tonight.
Well, hey, thanks for inviting me on. Longtime fan of Justin. There we go, over there. And
It's always the opposite of how you think it would be.
yeah, way over that way. And yeah, just kind of cruising along, doing a third campaign. So I guess I'm 3 times crazy. But yeah, life's good. Life's fun. Every campaign's different. So it's not. I guess so long as you approach it in a fresh manner, it doesn't feel like a chore. It's kind of an adventure. So life's good.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So you've got a campaign that we're going to talk about and highlight for just a little bit. I just want to go ahead and show your video. So we've got a video of yours here. I think I've got this. There we go. Check that out.
That's
Dude,
nice of you to come
music,
so
man.
prepped. That's I'm honored. Yeah,
That's some groovy music. So yeah, I just popped in the comments the link to your Indiegogo page. But here's what we're going to bring up that Indiegogo page. We're just going to talk a little bit about what you've got going on. We're going to do that for a few minutes, and we're going to enter into some fun conversation and open up hopefully the chat and interact with the chat and what they're doing. So here is your campaign, and you are 15 days left. Now I'm going to ask the dreaded question that I hate. Is this the first 30 or second 30?
it's the first 30 and the only 30, and I actually mean that.
Good. I see a lot of people like, oh yeah, we're closing out in 2 days, and it's like I'm like, well, it's the first 30, so like I've got 30 more days to get on this. The reason why I think that frustrates me is because, what if your funds are limited?
Yeah.
And you think, oh, well, this one's closing, but this one's also closing. Which one do I? Then you find out you've got another 30 days.
Yeah, and you could have backed the one that really was closing.
Yeah, that really was closing.
Instead. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for this one, like I really do have to close it at 30.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to close it. I'm going to go in demand, but I'm going to take off most the perks.
Sure. And that's I think that's a good thing to do. Like make sure that all like the special perks are for during that campaign time. Yeah. So you're sitting at $5,158 with 125 backers. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
That's super successful.
A hard one. It's really it's everyone from my mailing list and from people who just came in at previous campaigns. So it's I guess that just goes to show like there is something about mailing lists. People do appreciate that, and just kind of like hard-won relationships over the last year and a half from Twitter and stuff like that. It's not
Well, while I
from-
scroll down here looking at these, the art, by the way, the art looks gorgeous. Just tell us a little bit about what your book is about. Like what is this book?
Yeah, so it's a it's Wild Tales is an anthology. It's the first of two. If people like this one, so far people seem to like it. So we'll probably do a second one, and it slices into the sequel to the Curie graphic novels that I write and draw myself. But I thought I would hire people whose art styles are varied, but art that I like and that other people like, and then I would color them. So I'm doing colors for this whole campaign, and then we just kind of follow Myra who's the main female character in the Curie books, and we see her at later stages in life and some of the fallout of the decisions that she's about to make in the graphic novels. It doesn't spoil anything, but it lets you know a bit of it kind of foreshadows from the future what we're going to do in the books that I draw. So that's pretty fun. Yeah. And it also we introduced some new characters. So there's a male lead who kind of gets trained up, grows up in her care as her ward. You can see that little guy in some of these panels, and he kind of carries on the legacy of being an adventurer, treasure hunter after Myra. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So.
The art looks fantastic and the colors look great.
Thanks.
Do you guys have any questions for Matt that we can ask him, or?
What time period does it take place in? Because it looks like I'm looking at multiple time periods.
Yeah, so because the Curie verse, as I like to call it, it's set. The main characters the graphic novel series is set in the 3rd century in North Africa. So it's late. It's if you think of the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, it's in the red hot magma core of the decline period. That's kind of where we're tracing things on the edge, on the kind of the frontier life of the edge of that empire as it's crumbling and transitioning. Okay. But because it's kind of like, I always kind of pitch it like Indiana Jones and ancient Rome. So because we're playing with ancient artifacts, hidden lost powers, stuck in the sands of time kind of thing. I thought it would be fun to have some of these characters actually be the sources of that same treasure, but later on in time periods. So we're going to Afghanistan in 1880 for the Second Anglo-Afghan War, and we're finding Dr. Watson telling a story to Sherlock about how he had to stop some AWOL Bengal Lancers from breaking into a Afghan warlord's tomb and stealing an artifact with Myra's visage on it. So she's involved in this artifact and why it's in Afghanistan, but she gets it there, and then he has to stop these people from stealing that. And there's another 1904 during the war between Japan and Russia, which I think is an interesting war that I didn't know that much about. So I thought that'd be fun to play with. And Myra and the kid that she's tutoring, Lucius, have to deal with a dragon, a Japanese dragon in the 3rd century, and a witch that controls that dragon to unify Japan. And so in 1904, there's some Leninist revolutionaries who were trying to resurrect that dragon with the cremated remains of that witch. So you're seeing these are treasure hunters in the 3rd century, and they're doing a lot of fun stuff. But then we can fast forward a few centuries. We can fast forward 1,500 years, and we can show you the events of their lives are now the source of that sort of lore for treasure hunters much closer to our time period. So this is kind of the fun, kind of pulpy high adventure that I'm trying to give people.
So you've got here on the screen something that I think we're probably going to talk about tonight. Maybe not exclusively this, but kind of the idea behind this. So you've got this Rubicon Club for $49.
I just backed it.
And it comes with a Rubicon faux suede koozie, which is
it might be sold out now. Now I got
koozies are cool, but iron on Rubicon patch with gold thread, 2 exclusive magnets, an original 4x6 drawing, and this decoding cipher. Talk about that. Like, what's this decoding cipher?
So it's it's basically a decoder ring, if you know what that is, but with a kind of treasure.
Drink more Ovaltine.
Yeah. Well, that that was going to be the code, but everyone figured it out, so can't be that. But basically, this is the device that is in the Afghan warlord's tomb that Dr. Watson has to uncover, and so you're going to be part of the story by getting this. So it's kind of neat to have that, but on a practical level. Inside of it is an ancient scroll, and you unroll this. There's a code with a key. You decode the code with the key using the decoder ring, and that gives you 25% off all future Kyrie campaigns. So you're getting, it's going to pay for itself because I'm going to make several more Kyrie campaigns. And
all right, so that's cool. Here, I'm going to make you big so that you can show off that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's 3 inches wide. A lot of people. Some people are saying, you can obviously after you get the scroll out, you can store whatever you want. Some people are already planning on storing their weed here. It's up to you.
I don't know who is planning on that on the panel.
It's hand painted with the patina by me. It's 3D printed by a very talented 3D printer that I
that's
have a
really
relationship
cool,
with.
man.
So
all right, so what gave you the idea? I'm going to bring us back down into this view here. So what gave you the idea to do something like to add 25% off to future campaigns? Like what was the thinking that said, hey, this is what I want to try?
Well, like the swag question is always a big challenge with these campaigns because every campaign is a story, right? You have to be telling a story that people want to be a part of, that they can be involved in. And so every campaign, I think we're all trying to figure out how can we include people more and feel like they're actually a part of something even more. So the whole thing is, that $49 tier is called the Rubicon Club.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Yeah. So you get a lot of fun swag because you're crossing the Rubicon with me in Kyrie, and you're saying I'm committed now. Like there's no, I've tried it, I've tasted it, and I like what I'm getting, and so I'm giving a little bit more upfront, anticipating that kind of extra investment is going to pay off. So I'm making sure that it will pay off.
I think it's a brilliant idea. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone doing that before, and offering something like that. I think it's kind of a neat thing.
Thanks.
And it's kind of innovative. And so Justin had this topic tonight about innovative things in crowdfunding. Justin, do you want to kind of preface us with any kind of conversation that you want to have about that? Or
Yeah. Well, as like Matt said, right? Every campaign is a story. And I really I think him and I would say Mike Pellegrini and Tim Lim, also because their last campaign, Come in America 3, they did their typical acrylic standees, which those things are dope, but they did something new on their last campaign. They did cosplay mask. So you can actually get a cosplay mask of Come in America. So the whole you can be her. With Matt, he has the decoder, which he said that Dr. Watts has in the story. So you're getting an artifact from the story itself. which when you do that stuff, it's like an investment. It's like, because what if Star Wars without lightsaber toys, right?
True. So there was this
The
book.
moment you get that, you are completely invested in the story because you're like, I'm a Jedi too, or a Sith, because
There was this campaign that I backed called the Kill Journal, and one of the things you could get is a mask from one of the Revenants, which was so cool that they did that. And I just want to welcome the people in the chat tonight. We got Sabian Willis. He's a tremendous artist. He says, "Hey there, you guys. Got a show? How cool!" Yes, we do have a show. It's called Take a Break with Luke and Dutton. And every Tuesday night at 8 p.m., we take a break for about 45 minutes to an hour, just hanging out with a creator, talking about their wares, and then having a discussion about crowdfunding and indie comics. Yeah, just something to do with comics and things like that.
Which I do want to say that me and Luke are fortune tellers, because last week we talked about who would you want in a Marvel versus DC video game, and right now on Twitter, trending is Marvel versus DC, because apparently NetherRealm Studios, who does Mortal Kombat, is doing a Marvel fighting game. So everyone's like, oh, they do Injustice too. There could be a Marvel versus DC. So, just saying, we called it last week.
Yep.
Nice.
See, hear it here first, folks. I do want to invite everybody who's watching. Feel free to pop in the chats and talk to us about what your one of the your favorite perk, like the most innovative stuff, the things that you like to back when it comes to Indiegogo or Kickstarter. We try not to pick favorites here. I mean, I do prefer Indiegogo for running campaigns, but some people do very successful on Kickstarter, and so and we've promoted some Kickstarters here. So so back to the whole interesting thing. So I think action figures are always cool if people can do that, but
I know in June Coffin Comics is doing Lady Death statues.
Oh, that's great.
So
I'm afraid to know the price.
So I know a lot of people who are casual backers. They want to get the book, but they don't normally want to spend the extra money to get all the extra things. I've even heard people say the extra stuff doesn't matter to them. As customers, what are some of the things that you want to get in a campaign? Are you only the book? I just want the book. Or do you like all that extra stuff? And if there is a weird, unique thing, what kind of weird, unique things are you interested in?
Well, some of the stuff I think that's pretty cool that I like is Patrick Parnell's. He does the poker chips.
Yeah.
And I like I think it was, who was it? Was it God's Hand? He did a metal bookmark with the God's Hand logo on it. And that was pretty cool.
That was really cool. I like the metal bookmarks. I'm really liking metal stuff right now. I was this
anything that's permanent, right? Anything that feels like it actually has a weight in your hand. It's not just like a paper perk. You know?
Yeah.
That's important.
Have you guys seen the metal covers? You can do a metal cover on a comic book.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
I've seen
metal? No.
Metal.
I haven't seen it on the comic book, but I've seen the metal ones that they're doing as giveaways.
Yeah, no, they adhere metal to the front and back cover. It's a guaranteed 9.8 every time.
Yeah, because it can never. Unless you take a hammer to it.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Didn't that sucker up? But wow, I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah. So that's kind of unique. What do you think? What do you think of that? As far as a perk, is that something that you would be interested in?
I have, but man, every time I see them, they are pricey.
They are pricey because they're $8 to print.
And I have to see it, and then the price of it. I agree with that.
Yeah. I know. And I mentioned it before. Just because Coffin Comics has been around so long,
they have. Yeah.
There's almost nothing that he hasn't tried or done yet.
Yeah.
I know. Every now and then he'll do metal print stuff, but he sells them 75, 80. But he also limits them to I think 40 or 50 total.
Well, yeah, I think on something like that, you've got to limit the total too.
Yeah.
So I've seen people try to do statues. This is something that I kind of want to do for mine. I want to do like those, 3D printed statues and stuff like that. I maybe like a 6-inch, not something real big. But every time I see those statues, they're expensive. Like they're kind of unique. Not everybody has them, but it's not like the decoder, where I've never seen anybody do the decoder.
No, that's a first.
Yeah. And offer like future discounts. Like that's almost like begging for repeat customers, which I think, dude, that's super innovative. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Thanks. And it's nice. It's nice that it, unlike other perks, like you really have to limit. Obviously, you can't give away unlimited numbers of these for the discount reason, but also it's once you're entering this like physical sphere of hand painting something as a perk, there's only so many that you can produce. And fulfill on time. So that's actually kind of nice because there's a built-in scarcity there, which is good. And I mean, for me, it just made sense because I'm trying to better corner with each campaign. I'm trying to broaden my the kinds of stories I'm telling, but I'm still trying to corner that adventure comics market that I think is kind of underdeveloped right now, at least on the Indiegogo side of things, and decoder rings make sense for that particular market. But they can be done for a lot of, obviously superhero comics could have a decoder ring. That a lot of people could pull that off. But it
like
again,
an old school, like golden age Flash.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like it can be done. It just it's got to make sense. It has to click as part of your story, where it's like, oh, of course you would do a decoder ring.
I think it's cool bringing something from the comic book in this kind of like made up world into reality. Like who knows? Maybe there might be a Trash Man belt buckle in the future. Kind of things like that. I think that's kind of cool. It's interesting to see that.
I know I'm looking into blankets and pillows, mostly blankets though.
That makes sense for yours.
Yeah.
So Sapien says there was a recent Spider-Man book where the spider symbol was cut out, like it was used as a window frame. Very dope idea and seems expensive, but you better be pretty handy with an X-Acto knife. Yeah, I don't know that I would try to do something like that personally. I think I would, talk to the printer about, die cutting those things and when you're doing those big amounts. But I've seen air fresheners come through. I've seen pens come through. I've seen all kinds of stuff come through. It made a lot of sense. This guy Travis has this book called "Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies," and it's about these guys being broke down on the side of the road in this car, And so an air freshener made a lot of sense with the logo on it because it was kind of car related. I also think it's kind of neat when people put merch that is somewhat related to the property in their campaign. Like Anthony Figueroa for God's Hand, he did tarot cards. It's about voodoo in New Orleans, and he did tarot cards, which was really cool. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, those were really cool.
Yeah.
Can I wonder? Can I circle us back to action figures? So there's a lot of ways to do. You could do like little, micro machine minis all the way up to like G.I. Joe size stuff. And then there's like the articulation question and accessories. Like what's like the sweet spot, do you think, for in term, the cost and investment on your end versus the the value for the customer?
Well, so I'm actually talking with someone about doing a short run, like a very short, like maybe 20 copies of a Trash Man action figure that's going to be 4 inches tall. And it'll have articulation at the shoulders, the waist, and the neck. So like that's where I don't know that the whole arm will move, because it's expensive to build those 3D models and then to print them and then to put them together and that kind of stuff. So it requires a lot of it just requires a lot to do an action figure like that. And I think even, when you look at a guy like EVS who's doing an action figure, I don't know that those are super articulated. Of course, I haven't seen mine yet. I'm sure it's one of the million that he's sending out this,
I think
Yeah, I think
they
they're
are
PVC.
about as
So I don't think they're articulated, except the only thing I think is articulated about it was Salamandroid's tail.
Okay. So yeah,
I
so
think
there's
that's the only thing I saw that you could move.
Yeah,
That's
so
my
most of it's
impression.
not articulated. So I think any articulation at all is kind of cool.
I think the Heather Swan one for like future things will be articulated. He's shown prototypes of that though.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to, but those are expensive, and
Yeah.
for the majority of us, we don't have 1 million people back in our campaigns.
Yeah.
We've got 125 people back in our campaigns, right? So we want to be able to offer some of these cool things, but maybe we're not into the action figure thing yet. So yeah, so as far as scale for action figure, like what you asked, Matt, what's a good size? Like I think. So with Trash Man, they're making them 4 inches tall because most of the other action figures I'll have made are 3 3/4 inches tall, and since that way he's in scale with everybody else. But but that, I mean, that's Todd. What do you think? Action figure, or would you be interested if I put an action figure in this next campaign? Would you be like, oh, gotta have the action figure, or would you be like, that's cool, just give me the book?
Yeah, usually I would be, because I also backed like Patrick Parnell. He did the action figures for his guys, and they've got they've got 1, 2, 3, I think 4 points of articulation, and then you can change out the heads for different ones.
Oh yeah,
those look great. And he's got the variants with just like different molds, I guess. I mean, different injection for the same mold.
Yeah,
like a glow in the dark one and stuff. Yeah,
then he's got one for the 70 something, and then the 80. And then he said he's going to have one for the 90 and the 2000. He's going to make more.
That's really cool.
And then he said if the what was it, the Comicsgate Expo thing happens, he was going to have a special one for that. If you ordered one of his campaigns, he would send you a special poker chip that you would come to the convention and show it to him, and he would give you the special figure just for the convention.
Oh, that's really cool. See, that's innovative stuff. Like, hey, you get this, you come see me at a table, or you come see me here, or whatever. Then
part of the story
extra. Yeah. So there's something more that you get, and that's involved.
Yeah, you know what? That actually reminded me of John Malin has the T-shirt. Where you get the T-shirt or like the hoodie, and you wear it at a convention. He's like, all right, cool. Afterwards, I'll buy you a drink.
Yeah, the Graveyard Shift, the yellow one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Sabian was saying that the wraparound covers is a cool idea that you don't see too often. And that is true. Like even on some of these indie guys where you could do like a short run of say 50 wraparound covers. We don't see a whole lot of those these days, do we? Would you guys be
it's nice. There's printers like Kablam and others that'll give you that like maybe you're just printing 300 for your campaign, but you can break down variant covers.
Well, my printer does that, and I don't have to pay the Kablam prices. Now, I really like Kablam. I'm friends with Roland Mann, that's who they use with Silverline, and I think that I just think that some of if they could get their pricing down a little bit, I would be more apt to use them. But they're a bit on the expensive side. Sure, I might have to ask you. Can I ask you about maybe you want to tell me later? No, go ahead. I give this information out to everybody.
Yeah, who you got? Who's better than Kablam?
I use Aaron Kane over at Digital Print Universe. It's actually like Mar Printing up in New York, and he is tremendous. And I've used Comic Impressions down here in Florida. They do good work, but I wasn't 100% happy with the print as much as I am when I get the stuff from Aaron. I like the way they package it. He puts cardboard on both sides of it, and he only does 10 books at a time, and then they're shrink wrapped, and so then they're stacked that way. So they come in. More of them are pristine. I had a few damaged from the other company, like where they were like scuffed up and stuff, where they look like they've been rubbed around on a table. So I get everything is more pristine with that, and then he offers so much, and the pricing that I get is the same pricing for if I need just 5 more of a book, or whether I need 500 of that book, where versus, and that pricing is still lower than 500 somewhere else. Like say, for instance, Comic Impressions, where it's like, I'm getting the large run cost because I have so much printed with him throughout the year. so it's not like a base, a per issue base on that. I can just get, there's no setup fee for covers. And so I can get as many covers as I want printed with it, so yeah. If you're not currently using Aaron Kane, look him up on Facebook, Digital Print Universe. Check those guys out. He does an amazing job, and I'll endorse him all day long. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Isn't this great? Like, people have been doing crowdfunding since 2010 or something for comics, but we haven't had this sort of ability to just kind of publicly, like live, learn from each other. It's just an amazing time to be creators. Absolutely amazing, or backers. You can just learn all this.
I started crowdfunding in 2015. On Kickstarter. No one really. Indiegogo was just I think a thought at that time. If they were around, it was they weren't really considered the crowdfunding place for comics. So I started back then, and crowdfunding took kind of a hit because there was a lot of people that didn't fulfill. They didn't know the process. They undercharged for shipping and all that kind of. I mean, my first campaign, I ate it, man. I spent way more money than I made because I didn't consider the fees. I didn't consider really how much shipping cost and all those kind of things. And so,
well, it was harder for you to know, right? It was hard. You didn't have people you could listen to on a daily basis at this point. Giving you that kind of warnings.
But Matt, here's the sad part. You still have people that are making those exact same mistakes because they refuse to listen to people that have been there and done that.
Yeah.
They for some reason, they just think that they're like, oh, well, it's different for me. I know what I'm doing. And, when you make a whole lot of money, what's really sad is when these, I love seeing these first time creators just blow up because they had a great idea. They've worked hard on it. And they get thousands and thousands of dollars. They're making, $12,000, $14,000. But what they don't understand is that the cost and the work goes up incrementally with that increase. You're not making that much money still. Even if I understand that if I bring in $10,000, a lot of that money's gone because it increases my print costs. It increases my shipping materials. It increases my shipping costs. All of that stuff goes up. It just grows exponentially with all of that. And a lot of younger creators, they don't understand that. And there's so many of us out here that would tell you that, and help you with that. But let's welcome Nine Realms, Michael Odin. Hey there, friends. Hey, congratulations to Michael Odin. He just broke 10K today on the Embrace. So if you haven't checked out the Embrace, there's a few more days left on that. It looks tremendous. Dean is the artist on that one. Great work. I've got a copy of that book coming because I hear there's a character in there that shares my name. So looking forward to seeing that. It looks like a great book, and it's Michael's third book. And man, he's such a great guy and worthy of the success he's getting. And I'm really, really happy that he got that win on this one. So.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
So is there anything we could be doing on our end as creators to is there anything that people? There are some topics that people talk a lot about, like the postage issue. How you're going to ship these things. What is expensive, like whether or not you can do chromium covers or something. But are there any topics that maybe have been spoken about not enough, and maybe that's why people are still, frequently hitting pitfalls? That's something I think about a lot. Like maybe we could be doing our part to be more vocal about some challenges that are just not popularly discussed.
It might come down to some printing, like where you source out your materials, like for your product and stuff. I don't know. I mean, there's ways to have quality stuff, and I love doing chrome covers and things like that. That's like one of my favorite things to do. I love a shiny cover. I do trading cards quite often. I did a new trading card and I had someone else print it, and I didn't specify that I wanted 14-point cardstock, something thick. And so they were a little thinner than what I normally get. So I'm like, well, okay, lesson learned. Now I've got to let them know. I was like, I need a thicker cardstock for the trading cards. I want them nice and rigid. And what? That's actually one of the few things.
like, because there's a new creator and stuff, right? You just see the numbers online, like, this is 14-point paper, and you're like, what is this? 14 point? What is 12? What is this weight? 12 pound? What is this? 180? You don't really know. And you're like, give me a sample. And they're like, oh yeah, but we don't do samples of everything. It's just like, this, it's a small variety pack. And you're like, yeah, but the one thing I'm curious about, it'd be cool to have someone go, all right, so this is 80, and you just kind of like, flimsy it. Like, I call it like the flimsy test, right? You just go, all right, so this is how much give it has, and then be like, this is, the feel. And then
Love that.
Then people can kind of go, okay, I get what this person's talking about. I get what, these numbers mean.
I think anybody that would give you like
I mean, it's very like in the weeds type,
Yeah. I think your guys are right. I think any company that like you could print like one off of, order your book from every provider that will just print you a single copy and send it to you. That way, you know what your book is going to look like, what it's going to smell like, what it's going to feel like. If you're just trying to get a single baseball card or trading card or something like that, just try inexpensively get those things. I like what Michael says here. Don't go for a bazillion variant cover pieces if it's your first book. Keep it simple. That's the other thing I think people mess up with. They will pay like tons of different variant cover artists. And I've kind of got this rule when I buy a variant cover from somebody, like I need to be able to double in sales what it costs me to get that cover made. And I've got some really good artists out there that they will charge like $400 for the pencils and inks. And I'm like, well, there's no way I'm going to make $800 off of your book, off of your cover. It's just not going to happen. You don't have that big a draw, and so I think you have to make choices like a business, like a publisher. And so you need to learn about paper weights. You need to learn about, how you're going to ship things. Like one of my first campaigns, we offered 11x17 print. And none of us thought about what it was going to cost to ship that thing or how we were going to ship it. So none of us knew how to ship a print. None of us. And man, did we take a bath on that one. So now it's like, don't, if all you're doing is shipping a Gemini mailers, don't ship anything bigger than a Gemini mailer, or if you're going to do a print, you've got to make sure that it's, I've started doing this thing with merchandise where I have an on-demand company that I pay, and they will print and ship all of the merchandise orders from my campaign. So it doesn't really cost me anything at all. I'm also not making money off of that merchandise stuff, but it's, you want people to have things that they wear, like baseball caps, shirts, hoodies, things like that. So, yeah, that's good advice, Mike. And who knows, maybe, those new creators can stumble along and find this particular show, and they could always pop in the comments and ask us a question and say, hey, what do you think? What would your advice be? How do you do this? Because I find, I think most of us are more than happy to give the information that we have. Like, I'm happy to share like what printer I use. Though this is an industry, like people call it a community, but it's an industry, and there's competition in that industry. But I look at that competition kind of like playing golf or basketball with your friends, or shooting darts or things like that. It's friendly competition that helps us grow and helps us get better. And so I like what we, I think that we're in competition. I think we can help each other get better. One of those is, sharing out, hey, these are the best vendors to use. Now, if I don't like you, I'm probably not going to tell you where I'm getting my stuff. But
so speaking of vendors, I don't know. So Kablam has this new like radial burst. I don't know if you can catch the.
Oh wow,
that's gorgeous.
It's like chromium, but it comes with like there's a spherical, like almost like a CD kind of thing going on. That looks
great, yeah.
Wow.
So that's one reason I'm trying Kablam for this particular campaign.
Nice.
Until I find someone better. Maybe it's a Digital Print Universe, but that's something that's cool to do. And also, like, it is nice. Like, one reason it's good to print these things ahead of time it's for your own peace of mind, so you know what you're getting, but also you can do like photo shoots with your campaign content too, so people they get a sense of just the dimensions, how thick it really is going to be. It's just these are it's Curie book 3 pages in here, but it's the actual page count. So one's an ash can and one's 44 pages.
That's sound advice, man.
But it feels, you can see what it's going to actually come out at, and other people can see it too, which is smart. So
I always do that with I'll have the printer print the cover because I'm doing a silver foil cover for the issue 1 remaster that's a part of this campaign, and there's only 100 of them. And I was either going to do metal covers, but I thought, man, that's going to be really expensive. But we're settling on this other cover, this foil. And so I had him print it, and then he took a video of it so you could see how it opalesces and stuff. So it was really cool. Pop says that don't bash the person who promotes your first book the most right before launching your second. He might be a little salty. I think he's experienced that. Then Odin says, "Oh God, I'm so glad that I got that book." PE, I don't know what that means. Pay? I don't know.
Who's he talking about? Whose book he's talking about? If you're talking about me, thanks. If you're talking about
yours,
physical education.
Yeah, he's talking about yours, yeah.
Oh, well, cool.
He's talking about yours.
So glad we got that book, Physical Education.
Sabian wants to know what the base price for Chrome print is. Now, I won't talk about prices. I will talk about printers, but I won't talk about prices on the air. So if you want to know prices, that usually varies, and I wouldn't want, and it could vary from month to month, because I printed a book 1 month and then the next month it was more expensive because materials went up. So usually that's based on what the cost of the paper is, Sabian. And so I could tell you what I've paid in the past, but I'll do that in private message. But you would have to contact the printer you want. But it's not as expensive as what you think.
And it also kind of, results in, there's always national weather events, right? Mm-hmm. Like big hurricane comes, bunch of trees get down, boom, paper's going to cost more, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, the price of materials can change all the time. Yep. So
I know a year ago it was more expensive to print because of a lot of the U.S. printers were actually switching to producing cardboard. I imagine it's much more now. This was in 2019. Paper mills just weren't making as much money because people weren't buying books here. So all the paper mills went overseas, it was predominantly a China business. Again, this is 2019. And 2020, the paper mills here were just trying to make supplies for Amazon Prime shipping. So that became a factor, and paper went up. Paper became a premium here because there's just not as much demand as there is for Amazon.
Nine Realm says, stupid phone keypad. But anyway, guys, I got to roll. Great show here. Such a fantastic panel for creators in the industry. Absolutely. Pops Van Zandt says, salty? No. Gives me more time to promote people like you guys. Absolutely. And Pops is a great advocate for comics and promoter. So he has a show on Monday nights called The End of the Madness or something like that. So if you haven't been on that show yet, Matt, you might want to check that out. He also says, it was just good advice, not salt. And then Sydney says, okay, cool. So we're getting really close. We're about 12 minutes until more like 11 minutes until we normally close down this stream. So what I want to do is I want to take a couple more minutes and just go over anything special about your campaign that we should
there is one thing special I know about his campaign. It's not this one, it'll be the next one. I'm in Kyrie 3.
You're in Kyrie 3? Nice.
Yep.
So you've got a lot going on here. I really like that decoder. That's really cool. So let's just take
he sold out.
Everybody's seizures.
I added one back, and I have to ask my printer every time I do that.
If you can.
Yeah, because they really can only handle so much, and I probably do have to wrap it up. With these.
So you've got one left on the on that, so you can do that. You've got
that could really be the last one.
Let's I'm just going to refresh the page so that we can see really where you're at. It looks like you're at $5,237. You're at 127 backers, so you've gotten 2 backers.
2 more backers.
Yeah, so that's
thanks,
pretty
guys.
good. That's amazing for our show. I didn't know anybody even watched us.
Appreciate
except for a few people there. Thank you, Frog G and Pops and 9 Realms and Sabian for watching. Then we got Rubicon Club. So we still have one left of that. You do have a PDF for $7. You can do the gloss cover and ash can for $15 US. How much is it to ship, by the way?
Only $5 domestic.
$5 domestic to ship. Are you doing international?
International is 26.
Okay.
And
that's fair.
Which is still, that's just bare bones. That's what they're going to charge me. But I'm in talks. Hopefully by this time next year, one more campaign down on my belt, and then I can I might be printing overseas too. But
nice.
it's a volume question. So
yeah,
which would make it cheaper if I could print.
I like that you can get the holographic cover and ash can for $20. That's going to be $5 shipping again for US, right?
Yep, same.
Okay, and then you can get Kyrie graphic novels 1 and 2 for $35, in case you've missed anything.
Also $5.
Also $5. 8 by 10 original art commission. That's great. So when you say art commission, does that mean you can say they can say whatever they want and they get it, or is it already on?
Yeah, no, it's it's just open. I'm not good at NSFW, but other than that, it's whatever you want. So
yeah, and look at what NSFW means.
It's not safe for work. Not safe for work. We can't. Pops says it's the Pops effect. When I'm around, people tend to back books. We're gonna give Pops
right on, Pops.
I guess.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and then you've got you can get an original page here for $100. There's 7 of those. So is it this page the one that we see, or are they 7 different pages?
There was 8. I had to take down the tier and put it back up. So one of them's already sold. The ash can is a 12-page story with some supplemental content. But we're only selling 7 of those, or 8 of those pages, which is drawn physically, ink to illustration board.
Well,
but the main stories, that's all digital content. So
this book looks really cool. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play your video.
You know what? Before you do, there's one thing actually. Oh, I'm just wait. There's actually one thing I really do like about the campaign is, although Matt's not drawing this one, he's actually colored all the stories, so there's still that same color palette connected to the main Kyrie books.
I do like that too. It looks good, man. It really does. Let's watch this video, Dutton.
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations on the success of this. Big success. Hopefully for more success in the future, man. That's tremendous. Is there anything you would like to tell everyone before you go? Any last parting words?
One last nice thing about this campaign is that the profits from Kyrie Book 2 already paid all the artists to be working on this. I've already paid them all. And the inks are almost all entirely done, which is nice. So it's just I set this thing up. It started in production in September, and I wanted this by the time we were live with this. I wanted me to be the last person in the production chain, so that there's only one point of accountability, and it's me. So it's going to be we can finish it. It's probably going to take about 3 months for me to color these pages, and then we ship them out. So we've been in the black since around 1K. That was really just shipping, and we want to cover some taxes. But other than that, this is a surefire thing. So onward and upward.
Comics Mate says, "Talk sweet nothings to me as I drive." Dean, congratulations on the huge success with the 10K campaign.
Yeah,
absolutely. You deserve it. Every bit of hard work from you and Odin. Really proud of you guys.
Dean, you drive adorably. There you go. That's the sweet nothing.
We're getting ready to close things down. That we have been talking with Matt C, and he is got a great
Matt's campaign. He's also a Floridian.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, look at him. You can tell. He's the most tannest one here.
Most tannest one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Well, I mean, you're also in Florida, and
okay.
you're kind of white, so I don't know what your
I'm
excuse
very
is there,
white,
Luke.
yeah. I can't help it. I can't.
Yeah, us ethnic Floridians need to stick together. There's a lot of us. And,
yeah.
Too bad that North Carolina barbecue is
we got
supreme.
3 Floridians here, man. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So we've been talking with Matt, and he's got a great campaign. Make sure to check that out. Let's see if I can pop that in the chat one more time so you can go find the link for that, and make sure to back it. He's got 15 days left, so you got 2 weeks to get on board with it. It's a beautiful campaign. He's got one more of that Rubicon Club left. You definitely want to check that out. Next week we'll be talking about we'll be launching my campain. So Hybrids next week is a launch. We're launching at 8 p.m. So North Carolina barbecue number 1. Let's check out Dutton's video. I think this is Dutton's video. Here we go. You can check out Unstitched on Indiegogo right now. In demand.
Fear takes form in the darkness. The darkness feeds off screams. Fear is the enemy of childhood wonderment, built on hopes and dreams. So remember, in the terror of night, to protect the child, protect the light. Try not to become unstitched.
Sweet. And then this is the video for what we're launching next week. So I do invite as many people that want to come back. Matt, if you want to come back next week and help out with the launch party, we're just going to talk.
Cool.
We're going to talk nonsense and have a good time and have as many people on stream as we want.
Yeah, I'd love to help pump up your campaign. That'd be awesome. Help celebrate it.
So we'll be launching 8 p.m. during the show next week. And here is a quick trailer for you.
In a world where the powers of the ancient Greek gods live on through their ancestors, it is up to an intrepid team of heroes to foil the wicked plots of the Hybrid Engineering Corporation. Armed with new information concerning an ancient weapon fabled to have the power to kill a demon, Rev and the team split up to gather the shards and put an end to Azazel before it is too late. Little do they know, the Game Master is still pulling the strings. New characters, new threats, and tons of plot-driven action await you in The Killing Field Part 2.
Awesome.
That's from Aero Comics 4.0. Pretty excited about that. Frog G is telling us to back Kyrie. Says books 1 and 2 were great and don't miss out. And so Frog G says they're great, then they're great. So definitely go check that out.
Love your Frog G. Thanks.
Frog G says, help a Teddy out. Protect the light, protect the child, fend off the darkness. Check out Unstitched today. Absolutely great book.
I have read this. He just have these catchphrases just on his he pours them out so quick.
Frog G is a superhero, man. He is
he really is.
To me, he's like the CG superhero, in my opinion. That's that's what I think.
In book 2, I actually have a slight Frog G surprise.
Man, that's
great.
That's great, yeah. But yeah, Frog G says to check it out. Definitely check it out. I have read. Frog G says I have my ways. I have read Unstitched. Justin has given me a digital copy to read before I get my. I don't know if I backed digital or physical. You'll have to remind me. If I haven't backed physical, Justin, let me know and I'll go by and make sure I do that. But I have read it and it is good. So if you haven't, then you should. See, I'm a poet, and I don't know. Like Dr. Seuss over here. I'm like a fat, bearded, grumpy Dr. Seuss.
Now you got to make up like weird instrument names to be Dr. Seuss, like the snorkel snock.
Eric Hawkins says, evening, folks. Evening to you as well. Jim O'Reilly is in the chat saying, look at these handsome devils. Absolutely, but none more handsome than Jim himself. I'll tell you, one of the most underrated artists in comics right now is Jim O'Reilly. Absolutely talented, absolutely fantastic.
I've heard his name around.
I tell you.
Oh my god, his stuff is so good.
He's right now he's doing the Mojo Rising origin story, which looks tremendous. He has done a cover for The Embrace, which is I mean, it is sexy. It is a nice cover.
Totally.
It's so good. He is so talented. And he also did a backup story that is in issue 6 or part 1 of The Killing Field. He and Raj Mann worked on that. Frog G says, not too late to back it again. Just saying, absolutely, you can back it again. And I'll definitely check out your work over there, Matt. Make sure I get Kyrie and all that good stuff. Look, we got tons of people popping in the chats now. Jim's in the wrong chat. He might be in the wrong chat, because I don't know. Yeah. Sup, fellas? From Jim, Comics State. His Embrace piece was our most popular cover. You know what? I can believe that. Obviously, you had a Barton cover, which was great, but that piece that Jim did was just tremendous. It was really beautiful.
It's awesome looking cover.
Yeah. And then Jim, I'll make a train, take a dirt road. I'm so ugly. I'll make a train, take a dirt road.
We got to steal that. That's great.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Eric Hawkins says, I have Kyrie. It's great. So there we go. There's another person who expressed their opinion. So go out and back that. We're going a little over. We've got some people in the chats right now. Let's pull your campaign back up one more time. Let's see if we can't get a couple more people to take a look at what you're doing here. This is Wild Tales of Kyrie #1. This is an anthology book. You have 15 days left to go. You're sitting at $5,237. You have 4 different artists working on this campaign. You're coloring all of them, and you've written all of it, right?
Yep, written or co-written if I needed. Okay. If I had some amazing writer friends that I thought could tackle a genre really well, I brought them in too. So yeah. Just trying to do a collaborative project, and it's a ton of excitement. I mean, it's so fun to to bring in an artist, and then like Jose Garcia that you're seeing there, and just say, okay, like what kind of story would fit in the Kyrie verse, right? But is perfect for his style and what his strengths are. How can I play to his strengths? Rather than having him fit to me, I need to figure out how to write something that fits to him.
I will say this: some people simp after Jose Garcia's work.
Yeah,
because
I was his first simp. I was told this on a live stream. I didn't even know this, but apparently I was the first guy to give him work in this kind of ecosystem that we're operating in.
So you can get the gloss cover and the ash can for $15, $5 shipped domestically, $26 international. You can get the holographic cover, which, by the way, put that back up, man, because that looked tremendous.
Yeah, you dig it?
I do dig it. I dig it.
I do dig.
It's
so beautiful. Yeah,
that is gorgeous. Back it at $20. You get both the cup. You get the book and you get the ash can. $5 shipped domestically, $26 international.
Sabian, to answer your question on breakdown of an anthology, it's a collection of like short stories.
Yeah, but all for Wild Tales here, they're all in the theme of they're fitting. You're seeing the fallout of a particular character's actions through time, and other people stumbling across evidence of some heroic deeds of slaying particular monsters and hunting down demons and such in the 3rd century. So that's kind of what we're doing with Wild Tales. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Sabian is asking, do ash cans really help push a new book? My upcoming comic is Sinji Nights. Was the direction I was heading in. I figured would better help the story. The ash cans are really good to give out as previews digitally, but I find the ash cans personally, and maybe you guys can speak differently to this. I mean, because you have an ash can for this one, I think those are best in limited quantities. Like if you said, oh, like once we hit this many backers, everybody gets an ash can.
For me, there's a practical side to this, is that infamously you can only put so many pages in a holographic cover book. So whether you're getting the gloss or the holographic one, I had to cap the page count at 45 pages thereabouts. But I wanted 4 stories. And I can afford the 4 stories. I wanted to get them all 4 produced. So I just said, well, you know what? Like I think it would add value. It would give me a chance to draw a second cover. And I could bag and board both of them. So you're getting 2 comics bagged and boarded.
That's a good
so
idea,
I just
man.
think it adds more value than, putting all 4 into one, particularly when you have, if you're doing the holographic variants where you're kind of pushing the limit with how much you can kind of fit with that particular paper stock. So there's a practical consideration there too, but it's also me just trying to think about
some
value.
people also use like ash cans as like side stories that fit into the world but just don't quite fit in the main book. Like either prequel, just random side story, or just like, well, here's a backstory of this character, just to flesh things out, so we're not just going random flashback. It's
so
in the ash can.
I think I want to do an ash can where Trash Man goes to Disney World with his friends, and he can't fit in any rides, so he's like super disappointed. And then, but Chlorine sees that he's like really disappointed. So when he gets home, she has Link make a roller coaster that he'll fit in, and then he gets to ride a roller coaster for the first time.
That's nice.
That would be nice, right?
Yeah.
And so you can also do like random. I guess like if it was like a TV show, it'd be like a filler episode, but it's a nice, feel good story where it's like, yep. This is nice.
Especially when people keep dying, you get to you get to have a book. You get to do something where maybe it's a little more lighthearted. But Jen says, back anything Luke puts out, folks, and I agree.
That's also
100%.
wisdom.
Totally.
That is wisdom. Yeah. Absolutely. You guys should definitely do that. And so next week you'll have that opportunity. Starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be launching the Indiegogo. I'm going to go ahead and put in the comments there for you to sign up for the mailing list. You sign up for the mailing list, you'll get a free 8-page preview of issue 7. And you will also, at 8 p.m. next week, we will send out an email to everyone that has 2 perks, 2 links. A link to a private perk where there's only 35 available. It's a big collector's pack that's normally $90 worth of stuff. It's going to be $60, free U.S. shipping, discounted international shipping, and then
Nice.
we'll do. And then we have another one where you get both cover A and cover B for $20, free U.S. shipping, discounted international shipping. So I'm trying this thing where I'm not charging shipping this time around.
Oh, really? Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I've kind of worked. I know what I need to make, and so I've kind of worked it into the price. Try to keep my prices low anyway. So we'll see.
Smart.
We'll see what happens. So I know most people they hate, like me. I'm like, oh, I want that book. It's $15, and then I went to back something today. It was $15, and then it was like $10 shipping. So it was $25 for a 32-page book. And I'm like, man, I just can't bring myself to do that. I mean, these guys don't live far from me. They're like North Carolina. It's like, I know it doesn't cost you $10 to ship that book from where you're at to where I'm at. I'm like, I've got limited resources. I make comic books, folks. We know how it's like to be broke. So, all right. Well, we for real are going to close down the stream now. We are about 9-10 minutes over. But what I want to do is I want to go around and I want everybody to tell the folks where they can find you. You're in the hot seat, Matt.
You can find me at Matt Krotz on Twitter and Instagram when I happen to go on there. And I don't really have a YouTube. So just hanging out in everyone's chat. Thanks for checking out Kyrie.
Awesome.
Oh, whoa! My head does not need to be. It's already too big. Doesn't need to be that big.
Todd, you're in the hot seat.
You can find me on Twitter at Todd's Truth, or is it Truth Todd? I think it was. And then on YouTube is Todd's Truth, and on Instagram as Todd's Truth as well.
All right, my partner in crime, my cohort.
You can find me here every Tuesday night, 8-ish to 9-ish. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in my name, Justin Dutton. You can find me on Twitter at Justin Dutton 18 because apparently there was like other people that have my name. And if you are in North Carolina, you may see me enjoy our #1 barbecue because we have
Dang it.
Nice. Very good.
By the way,
letting
me
it
and
slide
Matt
'cause
have
I'm
an
a guest.
ongoing feud on
Very nice.
barbecue.
Texas
Yeah.
barbecue, man.
I grew up a lot in South Carolina, and I just think mustard there's something nice about the sweetness of the meat, and then the tanginess of mustard
sauce, yes.
works
Yeah.
really well.
I wasn't really
second place. I give second place to North Carolina. Just Texas is like you might as well put like frosting. It's so sweet. Like I'm just glad that
we're talking about sauce. I'm talking about barbecue, like the actual process of barbecuing the meat. I grew up in Indiana where barbecue meant that you opened up a grill, and you did charcoal. Like there's like, hey, we're barbecuing. I'm like, that's not barbecue. That's cooking.
No.
That's grilling.
Yeah. So we fixed that
fair.
here. I love barbecue. Now I am a mustard-based sauce guy now. I used to be tomato based. I've never been vinegar based. Can't do it. But I used to be tomato based because I grew up in the north, right? But then I developed diabetes, and they say that they go, hey, mustard sauce you can have. It's kind of basically it's free. It's not as bad for you. And so I eat the crap out of that mustard based sauce.
Yeah, you can put a little bit of honey in there maybe, but
Yes.
it's nice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wait, I can't be giving out my secrets.
Man, no, I got to go buy a brisket and smoke it this week, man. Or some pork, but I've got a smoker out back. I'm ready to make some.
You know what? I could order some from work. Best thing working at a factory.
All right.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Well, this has been Take a Break with Luke and Dutton and Todd and Matt. And next week it'll be Take a Break with Luke and Dutton and Todd and Matt and more people and as many people as we can fit in the stream. I think we can get up to 9 and we'll do that. We'll have a good time. So anybody that wants to reach out to me and make sure that they say, hey, I want to be on the stream next week because we're going to have a lot of fun time talking and chilling and it's going to be like a hangout stream. We're going to talk about anything we want to. You can find me at lukestonestudios.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for the channel, and find us on Twitter and Facebook and all those other fun places. And we'll continue to bring to you the best in indie comics, fun conversation, and really good quality stuff. So. Yes, barbecue at Luke's place next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. As Sabian says, it was a pleasure meeting you all. I'm blessed to keep drawing. Thanks. Sabian is a great artist. He did a pinup work for me that I'm getting ready to get colored, and I will hopefully be showing that off here soon. Tremendous artist that used to work for Disney. Yeah, so tremendous artist. I've seen this guy draw live. He's one of the best I've ever seen. Tremendous guy. So. All right, guys, we're going to play a little outro, and then we're out. We'll see you guys. Have a good week.